Boston's illusion of contention may be over, and Jrue Holiday could be the first domino to fall. The Boston Celtics aren't just in transition, they're teetering on the edge of a full-scale reset. Jayson Tatum's devastating Achilles rupture didn't just sideline a superstar, it detonated the team's entire competitive timeline. Now, Brad Stevens finds himself boxed into a corner, overseeing a roster that's wildly expensive, aging in key spots, and potentially irrelevant for the next 18 months. The green and white empire that once looked poised to dominate the East is suddenly facing existential questions, and the first answer might come in the form of a blockbuster trade. On May 20th, Dan Favale of Bleacher Report proposed a 3-team trade that would not only cut costs, but pivot Boston into flexibility mode. In this hypothetical deal, Boston Celtics receive Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington Brooklyn Nets receive Dwight Powell, a 2026 second-round pick Dallas Mavericks receive Jrue Holiday. The headline here isn't the return, it's the surrender. Dumping. Jrue Holiday, one of the league's most respected veterans and elite defenders, signals more than a tweak. It's waving the white flag on the current build, and possibly a silent admission that the championship window might already be closed. Favale notes that Boston could use this move to get under the second tax apron or flip the assets in a larger, financial chess match. But let's call it what it is: survival mode. This isn't a move you make if you're planning to hoist a trophy next June. This is about resetting the board before things spiral. Jrue Holiday, at 34, remains a valuable asset, arguably too valuable to be stuck on a team facing 2 years of mediocrity. His 3-year, $134 million deal isn't just tradable. It's attractive for contenders who need a mature, playoff-hardened guard. Dallas makes sense. Luka Doncic needs backcourt stability. Holiday brings title DNA and discipline. But Boston knows it'll have other bidders. According to NBC Sports' Kurt Helin, both the Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs are lurking as possible suitors. These are teams with young cores and future ambitions that could fast-track their development by plugging Holiday in as a stabilizing force. And let's be honest, he's the kind of player who elevates culture, not just box scores. Yes, Jrue averaged just 11.1 points this year, alongside 4.3 rebounds and 3.9 assists, but the raw stats ignore the nuance. His defensive presence continues to redefine the point of attack role. He doesn't just guard, he erases. And though names like Alex Caruso are gaining traction, Holiday remains the league's gold standard in backcourt defense. Still, basketball is brutal. Sentiment doesn't balance budgets. And as much as Jrue wants to stay in Boston, something he emphasized in his exit interview on May 16th, his desire might not matter. "I think we still have a really great opportunity," he said. "The talent, the coaching, Brad, it's all there. I want to be part of it. But is that enough? Because here's the truth Stevens must confront. This version of the Celtics was built for a now that may no longer exist. With Tatum sidelined, Porziņģis' health always in question, and Al Horford nearing the end, the idea of contending before 2027 feels like wishful thinking. In that light, holding on to Holiday becomes less about loyalty and more about inefficiency. The Celtics can't afford to waste time or money on nostalgia. Moving Holiday, now while his value is high, may be their only way to bridge the gap between this painful pause and whatever comes next. And if Brad Stevens really is playing the long game, don't be surprised if Jrue Holiday is just the beginning. The Celtics aren't retooling anymore. They might be detonating. The negotiations are flowing, so leave the like and keep following. The Golden State Warriors are spiraling toward a brutal reckoning. After crashing out in the second round of the NBA playoffs at the hands of the surging Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State isn't just licking wounds. It's staring into the abyss. The dynasty that once revolutionized basketball with pace, space, and swagger is now caught in a desperate tug-of-war between its glorious past and a future that looks increasingly uncertain. Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and, if rumors prove true, potential target Jimmy Butler are all on the wrong side of 30. These aren't just players. They're battle-tested icons. But the clock is merciless. Curry still flashes brilliance. but for how much longer can he shoulder a franchise with an aging core and diminishing returns? Green's volatility is becoming more liability than asset. And Butler, he's a warrior, yes, but one whose body has absorbed too many wars. The Warriors' front office knows the window isn't just closing, it's slamming shut. That's why they're reportedly eyeing a risky pivot, trading away young talent to reload around veterans in one last push for a ring. And that brings us to the Celtics. With Jayson Tatum sidelined and Boston flirting with cap disaster, Golden State sees opportunity in chaos. The Celtics need to trim salary and recalibrate. This is where things get interesting. Forget about Jrue Holiday or Derek White for a second. Those names, while impactful, don't fundamentally shift the Warriors' balance. The real swing lies in Kristaps Porziņģis, a 7'3" stretch 5 who shot over 41% from deep. Last season, averaged nearly 20 points and still protects the rim. That's a rare chess piece. Porziņģis would give Golden State something it's lacked since Kevin Durant left. A legitimate front-court scorer who can drag defenders out to the perimeter and open lanes for Curry. Of course, Porziņģis comes with risk, injury history, durability, concerns, and a hefty salary. But for a team running out of time, this is the kind of high-stakes gamble that might be necessary. The proposed deal: Warriors receive Kristaps Porziņģis. Celtics receive Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, Gui Santos, Trace, Jackson Davis. 2027 first-round pick, it's not just a trade, it's a philosophy shift. Golden State parts ways with promising youth and future assets, but in return, they get one last shot at relevance. For Boston, it's a calculated retreat. Shedding Porziņģis trims $5.6 million from the payroll, adds developmental prospects like Jackson Davis, a low-post beast in the making, and gives them a buffer year while Tatum recovers. This deal is uncomfortable for both sides, but that's exactly why it could work. Boston admits that contending next year might be a mirage, and instead lays the groundwork for a stronger return. Golden State bets it all, chips in the pot, and asks, do we still believe in miracles? Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep an eye on the Celtics movements.